Hi, William. Hi, Janet. Anyway, is there anything I want to talk about? Oh, actually, I was at a restaurant, I think it was last week, and and I met a guy that introduced me to a product called Huel. Now it's a all-in-one thing where it says that it gives you every single nutrient you can possibly need in a powdered form, like it's like a meal replacement. I was considering uh, doing like a video on that, or just maybe considering trying it. Now, I'm always skeptical about things like this, but you know, it may be something. I know that a lot of people get worried that they miss something in their diet, and maybe this is something they could add in like once a week just to feel a bit safer. But this is something I was gonna try, and maybe I'll do a video on it. Also, I wanted to do some other things. I was thinking about doing like a experiment, doing like possibly like a juice fast, just to see what kind of changes happen, if any at all. Because I know for me personally, I didn't need to juice. I didn't even juice once during recovery. I always felt better not juicing, but it's something I would consider trying, just so people can see, maybe reassure themselves. How bad was your POTS? I mean, the difference in lying and standing position in heart rate. Uh, I don't actually know what the difference in my heart rate was. All I know is that I felt incredibly ill when I stood up, and I actually felt, weirdly enough, I actually felt best when I would lay flat on the ground for whatever reason. Maybe it's just because it's a flat surface, but I always felt better laying flat on the ground. Pretty much when I had POTS at my worst, it was difficult getting upstairs. Just I'd lose half my vision. I'd lose half my vision even just standing up. Feel very weak and everything. All these symptoms started creeping up on me more and more the longer I left. The longer I left, like how I was going without changing anything. And I will say this, like, it's not a very popular opinion, but I could have waited a year to get a diagnosis with a doctor for something like POTS, and for all the other symptoms that I had, it could have been Lyme, But at the end of the day, when you get that diagnosis, there's nothing they can do for you when it comes to this sort of thing. So I didn't see what the point was in the end. I just focused on living as healthy as I possibly could and doing what I could to help my body return to normal, because I know that I knew that my body wanted to get there. Been up since 5 o'clock, so I'm starting to get a bit a bit dozy. But I've not been that active. I am considering. Well, I plan to this week do some more videos on foods, simple foods to put together that I did during recovery. So that's something a lot of people are interested in. It's probably my most requested video when it comes to things like diet. But yeah, if anyone has any questions now, just ask away. I have a lot of problems with staying hydrated, especially at night. Putting Celtic sea salt in water and staying calm helps. Yeah, the reason why that helps is because the salt actually helps you retain water. Now, I personally, from advice of Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum, put pink Himalayan salt in all my drinking water when I was recovering. He said that it was helpful for the adrenal glands, but and I went off that advice, and yeah, it did help me stay hydrated. I might even consider doing that again now, because I know that I can go through a lot of water sometimes. But yeah, so it's just about how salt retains like 100 times its weight in water, which means you retain water more. I guess if you're just chugging the water down, you're just pissing it straight back through. It's always good to have your water from fruits and stuff like that as well. That's hydrating. Hey, I subscribed to you after seeing your video on depersonalization, and I definitely identify with it. And it seemed to be a reoccurring thing that happens generally when I'm stressed and anxious. Yeah, it's hugely linked to stress, you know, especially anxiety. I don't miss it. Feels like you're not even on the planet. Feels like you're just looking through someone else. It's like someone that's died in ghost form and come back and live in their life through someone else's eyes. That's how fucking horrible it was. I'm desperate to fix my insomnia, but nothing helps. But I'm at the end of my rope. I barely get 4 or 5 hours and constantly wake up in between half asleep, half awake. Any advice? Well, healthy foodies, from what I gather, you're still at work and you're still trying to live a normal life. That may be keeping you wide. Sometimes it takes a complete rest from everything to kind of calm your body down. And I know you said that you can't really do that, but that's what I did. I had to rest from everything. And when I pay least attention to it, it seems to go away. Yeah, like uh focusing on symptoms, like even with just chronic fatigue and stuff. Uh I swear focusing on the symptoms makes things worse. It's always best to That's why I tell people, stop worrying about your symptoms. Focus on things you can do that will help your body get better. Don't focus in on your symptoms and trying to find a exact cause and everything. If you've been to a doctor and the blood tests for severe things have come back okay, normal, focus on just doing everything you can to live healthy. I tried water kefir but felt extremely dizzy right after drinking it, even if I just took a sip. Yeah, mate, did you have a history of antibiotic use or like a really poor diet and things like that? How was the EFT class at the Optimal Health Clinic? What, over the phone? Like I did it over the phone when I was ill. I think the main thing when it came to that was having somebody to discuss my problems with and where I was at, because for a very long time I kept my mouth shut. Yeah, mate, I think that's the key for interacting with your gut flora that's in such bad shape. It's causing a die-off of symptoms, possibly, because I know that I had actually had a fever and was dizzy as well. I had a fever for 3 days after water kefir. At what point in your recovery did you start socializing again? When I was completely cured. I wasn't gonna get back into normal life until I knew I was fully recovered. Healthy foodies, I quit. Well, I have videos on it. Basically, someone asked me this question earlier. Actually, they asked me, what in a nutshell did I do to get unwired and start my sleep? Now, I have loads of videos on it, and I try to kind of condense it, but nothing beats all the videos because it kind of explains it. But in a nutshell, it was making sure my diet wasn't agitating my body, like food allergies and stuff like that. Low inflammatory foods, uh, good sleep hygiene, making sure I had a good sleep routine I stuck to every night, even if it failed. Every night I stuck to my sleep routine. Even if I'd wake up an hour later, yeah, the next night I would do the same again. Have my clay salt bath or whatever it was I used to put in it, vitamin C to neutralize chlorine. Um, talk to the EFT person I did at the Optimal Health Clinic. All these little things eventually added to me feeling to a place where I wasn't wired anymore. And then once I was in that place, I was able to relax more and sleep just that bit longer. And the main number one thing is patience. It really is. It took me 6 months or more to fix my sleep. There's uh, I'd have to try and find it, but there was a girl that commented on my videos. She used to comment on my videos ages ago, and basically she was saying that she stuck to it consistency, like I said, and 6-8 months later, her sleep's finally fixed. It took a long time. Did you talk to a psychologist during recovery? Was it beneficial? I talked to someone at the Optimal Health Clinic that helped. It's not really a psychologist. It was more like a counselor kind of thing. We worked with EFT, and it was really helpful to talk to somebody after being isolated for so long. True, I try to sleep as much as I can and feel blessed for however amount I get. Hard to not focus on chronic exhaustion. Did it take you long to sleep well? Yeah, it can take a while. You've got to have patience with things like this. The body will do its thing in time. Even if it failed, damn, you're dedicated. I tried to go to bed and lay there and sleep on and off hours. I've been wired for 8 months now, man. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I was dedicated because I lost like half of my life to being ill, so I didn't want to fuck around anymore because I didn't want to turn 30 and still be ill living at home. But yeah, you have to be dedicated. I will say this though, I always mention it to people. If you wake up in the middle of the night, which is common with people that are wired, like 12 at 1 a.m., I will say this is if you are feeling so tired and you can't sleep, get up, either read a book. This is what I did. Either read a book under a dim light, uh, audio book, or I used to put on a big jacket and go and sit outside and just watch the stars for half an hour. Then I'll go back to bed and try again. I was very consistent with my sleep. Sleep is the number one thing. Anyone that's struggling with health problems, if you get your sleep fixed, you'll see a huge difference in how you feel. I was referring to the EFT class you said you were going to last live chat to learn more about it, like teaching or something. You'd be a great coach on their team. What did I think about it? I don't know if it's for me. That's my honest answer. I don't know if it's for me. I feel like I need to be my own person when it comes to things like this, not follow someone else's. I'd like to learn it myself and then introduce it with people that way, maybe. But the more that I went to that thing, and the more I get into it, the more I don't want to be in this field at all. Like being coaching and stuff. I'm not sure I like it at all. I like helping people like this, but I feel just really uncomfortable about the whole charging a lot of money to people that are just bang out of luck. It doesn't feel nice. So that kind of puts me off, if you know what I mean. Hi, James. My name is Mashka. I have a quick question. Sure. Haha, you're an alpha male, bro, making your own path. I'm not a fan of taking on someone else's um their viewpoints, I guess. Maybe I have hope as well. Thank you. I really appreciate it. If you've only been wired 8 months, of course there's hope. It may feel like forever right now, but you'll be really glad once you've stuck to, fixing yourself. And you'll always know once you fix this problem, you'll always know if it ever happens again what to do. And that's the benefit for me. I had glandular fever in Christmas, and most people, that's how they get to chronic fatigue. They get glandular fever, Epstein-Barr virus, and they're wiped. But I knew from all my years of being ill and recovery what I had to do to make this recovery in a short period of time. And I recovered in 3 or 4 months fully. And that's because I had the experience from before. If I had no experience, I probably would have pushed myself, bad diet, not sorted my sleep out, made it way worse, entered into something like fibromyalgia down the line. And that's what happens to so many people. It's a shame because it's not taught enough. You know, you would have thought you would like to think that at school they'd teach something worthwhile. Imagine teaching people how to look after themselves with their health. I'm doing my best to follow all your great advice. However, I'm still struggling with the rest part. I have a dog that needs daily walking, so I ended up always pushing. I had a dog as well, and I know it's harsh, but honestly, you're gonna have to give it a miss. You know what I will say is, make up to it to your dog when you've recovered. That's what I did. Once I recovered, he got daily walks every day for an hour or two, and he loved it. Sometimes twice a day. Because in the beginning, when I recovered and I waited till I really knew that I wasn't going to push myself to the point of feeling any negative effects, all I did was walk, nothing else, because it's the easiest on the body. Had a great weekend, went biking and met friends. Today I feel a bit tired. It's okay, but I immediately feel depressed. How did you manage to stay within your limits? I say it all the time. I didn't stay within my limits. I just rested the whole time during recovery. If you're waking up feeling refreshed, then um that's just like your fitness endurance that needs to increase. Or you say you feel immediately depressed, that obviously means that your body's just not wanting that right now. It's not the right time. Can chronic fatigue occur concurrently with migraine? I suspect I had it for a while. I could barely get out of bed and felt so drained for days on end. No energy. Well, obviously it can. If you're feeling that bad like that, then it obviously does. There's something connected to it. You know, people get so caught up in uh, daily life that they forget that their body is telling them things. Your body's telling you that it is chronically fatigued and you need to change something. I also noticed I'm quite addicted to electronics. Did you lay off the phone? I got rid of my phone. I didn't have a phone during recovery. It gives me a lot of stress, but if I'm awake during the nights, I'm bored out of my mind. That's your problem. You need to fucking get that phone out of your room and not touch any electronics at night because it's going to keep your pineal gland awake. Listen to Sean Stevenson. These screens, the light emitted from these screens keeps your pineal gland awake. So you're keeping yourself awake through that activity because you're bored. So you need to change that. You either audiobook, which I did on an old iPod that doesn't have a color screen, it just black and white, not black and white, but like a dark background, not backlit. So I'd click most of the time I'd have it preloaded from the night before I went to bed, and then if I woke up, I'd just get my phone and just do that, like my iPod or whatever and press play. Or dim light and book, or get your coat on, sit outside and just look at the stars, try and relax, forget about things, realize that, you know, you're like a grain of sand in this giant world, in this universe, and just chill out a tiny bit. Did you have a certain loose routine you followed during the day when you're recovering? I'm not sure what you mean by a loose routine. You talked about NoFap. Why do you think ejaculation makes us feel so bad? Even calm, short sex with wife makes me crash, but going weeks without makes me restless. Uh, well, obviously, ejaculation is it's quite stressful on the male body. Like if you research more into it, but it's not just that. It's the fact that you have so many minerals. You even have spinal fluid in uh, ejaculation. You know, I didn't go months and months and months without it. I just limited it to like once every few weeks. But if it makes you crash, like I know it's like I can't imagine what it's like to be in a relationship while you're trying to recover. It makes it a lot harder because you have to think about someone else as well. Um, I think that it's a combination of things. I think it's you get in that like wide state, like aroused state, and you're expelling your like zinc and vitamins and spinal fluid, and it's your heart rate goes up, and it's like exercise. You know, most people crash after exercise. Sex is like exercise. Maybe it's that. You know, I can't say for sure. I'm not going to try and say that I know for sure. But yeah, I just 100%. You know, I don't even ever. The only time I ejaculate is if I'm with my girlfriend. That's it. I don't do anything else now because I feel better for it. Recently noticed my HR was always over 110 in stand-up position. Now I feel horrible, can't climb stairs. I don't know which cause what, anxiety pots or pots anxiety. I wouldn't worry about it. Doesn't matter. Don't try and suss this out in your head because it's going to be very difficult. Put it this way, doctors aren't even trying to find out the cause if it's anxiety pots or pots anxiety. So you chill out. Look at what things you can change in your life. You know, I always wanted to study medicine and become a surgeon, which is obviously really hard and work and stress. Do you think it's possible after recovery? Yeah. You know, I'm considering what I want to do, and you know, I wouldn't mind something like that. What do you think about tuna fish? Uh, I personally stay away from fish just because of how polluted our seas are now. PCBs, mercury poisoning. It's going to be in tinned, like about tuna fish. Most of it's tinned, isn't it? You got the leaching from the tins as well, but that would be the least of your worries, you know, after the PCBs and mercury. So I personally opted to stay away from it. Did you keep records of your progress to keep yourself motivated? No, and I wish I did. You know, I wish I took more pictures. I wish I documented it while I was ill. I wish I'd done many things, but no, I didn't keep records of progress. I struggle with depression too and find things that help with my low mood. Going outside, cooking, baking, make my physical health worse. But if I stop doing them, I'm in very low mood. I can't find the balance. I think that's just a part of recovery. I think, like, put it this way, you doing those activities makes your physical health worse, and that in turn will affect your mind. You know, if you're feeling worse, you're going to feel worse in your head. So I'd say, you know, have patience, change your diet, change everything. Try and have a little bit more rest. Sort your sleep out, and just be patient. Do everything you can to recover. I'm working on following your advice. I find it almost an addiction to get my phone and check my email, etc. Did you listen to books in the morning or do meditation? Okay. Firstly, get rid of your phone. Like, put it in a drawer and say, I'm not touching that phone until I've recovered. Or have a rule where you go, I'm not touching my phone until 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's what I did with technology. I didn't have a phone. I'm so glad I didn't have a phone, because I'm addicted to this thing now. I'm always picking it up, and I know it makes me feel worse. It makes me feel more tired. If I wake up in the morning and check my phone like this, I feel more tired, just mentally. In the morning, what did I do in the mornings? I wasn't anywhere near technology. It was usually just relaxation, read a book, maybe something like that. Have breakfast. I struggle with boredom and watching videos, TV, social media. I think your idea to cut them out is amazing. Other than meditation, audiobooks, how else to address long hours of boredom? Okay, so people expect me to give them an answer for something that's entertaining, and my advice is just not very well accepted. But you kind of have to accept that sometimes you are gonna be bored. Imagine if you'd been born 100 years ago with this problem. My dad, when he had glandular fever and was bedbound, he rested in that bed for a year and then he recovered. Nowadays, what would he be doing? He'd be on his phone, he'd be playing Xbox, he'd be watching Game of Thrones. And to me, that engaged state that causes is not fully resting. He wouldn't be fully resting, and that would cause the problem to prolong, in my opinion. So I think you have to accept boredom. What anti-inflammatory foods do you recommend? Anything from plants, I would say. So, you know, I just went gluten-free vegan. That's how I did it, and that's just majority anti-inflammatory. Just take away the oils and stuff because they're inflammatory because of the like olive oil is very high in omega-6 and very low in omega-3, and long usage can cause inflammation. Since being more chilled out, laid back is good for recovery. What about marijuana? No comment. I can't say anything. I never did marijuana. Maybe you could do the medical marijuana. That's meant to be very good. Haven't used it, but you could do that. But smoking it, I don't know. Just wanted to say how much I appreciate doing all these videos and chats. No problem. How did you know when you were on the right track? Felt good, I'm guessing. The first hint I got of progression was when I actually had a relapse. I 3 months in, ordered a pizza takeaway because I was 3 months into gluten-free vegan, and I was like, I was expecting more results than this. What am I doing wrong? So I was ordered a takeaway pizza, ate the whole thing. Next week, I felt shit, and I was like, oh, I actually had been doing small baby steps. I had been improving, and then after that, I never went back. I never messed up again. Watch the boredom. It's actually really interesting. Might have to do that. Hi James, what do you think about blood type food? Maybe help also. And what if taking a shower is exercise? It sucks. And speaking with somebody, it makes my energy empty fast. I was isolated and I preferred it that way. I didn't talk to anyone because I felt the same way. I felt drained every time I had an interaction. What if taking a shower is exercise? I personally opted for baths. I felt better laying down just because of the pot symptoms. Blood type food, that's like I'm sure that's been debunked over and over again. Did you eat a lot of veggies? I did eat a lot of veggies. Always steamed them, never raw. I always, I'm not the biggest fan of eating raw veggies to make me feel the best. Like in terms of, like spinach and kale and stuff. like when I would go through trying to recover, I'd do like massive green smoothies, and it made me feel atrocious. So I had a lot of veggies. I would, every day I'd be like, right, I'll have a whole broccoli for my lunch as a side to like, sweet potato and stuff like that, beans. But no, I'd say it was a well balanced plant based diet. My current schedule is waking up at 8:30, smoothie for breakfast, no oats. Lunch is a big salad with sweet potato and walnuts, then roast veggies for dinner or vegan shepherd's pie. Does this sounds healthy to me? You know, just see how you feel after the smoothie, because I know that when I used to do smoothies, I didn't feel very good. Petra, have you tried a pop up chair in the shower? Could do. I used to love my baths. It was just my little sanctuary to get away from my aches and pains and fatigue and everything. I just used to sit in the bath for an hour every other day, every day. Thank you so much for answering these questions. No problem. That's what I'm here for. Recovery shouldn't cost 100 quid a consultation or whatever it is. Tracking recovery is actually discouraging when you're not making progress. Probably still worth doing as long as it doesn't become a source of stress. It's hard to tell when you're actually progressing because, you know, the changes are so small and you're with your feelings and everything every day. So it's hard to see the changes. It's like when you're losing weight. I remember when I lost like 2 stone, I didn't feel like I lost anything until I looked at the before and after photos and I was like, whoa, I've come a long way. So it's hard to track your own progress. Oh, Sarah, yes, I have a chair. Thank you. Did you ever feel heart palpitations on getting out the bath? Yeah, all the time. Get out very slowly. What I used to do is pull out the bath, stay in there, then slowly get out the bath, and then get straight to bed, lay flat. Yeah, I did have heart potatoes. Yeah, I did have heart palpitations though. Did you adjust your bedroom temperature when you were recovering? Uh, okay, so I will say this: that I've slept better with more covers and windows open and no radiators. For whatever reason, I felt better in a chilled environment. I slept better. I would have mine's awful, puts me off bath. Thank you, James. Have a good evening. Don't understand everything. I am from Austria. Okay. Oh. Ah, okay. Well, your English is better than my Austrian. Did you have any thyroid issues, whether diagnosed or not? Usually keep away from supplements now, but I've found taking Kelp is helping me stop feeling so cold all the time. I used to have extremely hot, cold hands and feet, so it's probably a thyroid problem. Personally, I think when your health decline in all your bodies, like thyroid, adrenals, are all kind of taking a beating. So yeah, I do think I probably had thyroid problems. Chronic fatigue, hashtag. Right. Another CFS recovery guy, Toby, talks a lot about exercise. He emphasizes gentle exercise, but even that is too much most days. I emphasize on waiting for exercise. I don't believe in pacing. From my personal experience, because of how chronic mine became, any kind of walking or going out for a walk was just a no go. It made me feel worse, and I listened to my body, and it paid off. Don't take people's advice. Like if you have someone like Toby saying, "Oh yeah, you should all definitely do gentle exercise." Well, why is he saying everybody should do gentle exercise? Not everyone's the fucking same. Why would you give advice on a broad spectrum like something with exercise when it comes to chronic fatigue? People are notorious for fucking crashing. Why would you say gentle exercise is something well, why would he recommend gentle exercise for everyone? He doesn't know everyone. Also, how long into recovery did your palpitations go away? I used to get them from getting out the bath, and also whenever my arms are above shoulder height, I get them badly. Feels like a panic attack. There were a few times my heart palpitations were so bad I felt like I needed the doctor, like I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I think my palpitations went within 6 months. I think I'm not entirely sure. I did this. I recovered like 2.5 years ago now, so it's hard to remember and pinpoint when a symptom went because I never noted it down, and I wish I did. But all I know is that patience and hard work and dedication to recovery really does pay off in the long run. How did you deal with spending so much time alone? I enjoyed it because I felt less drained. It allowed me to collect myself and build myself back up again. I guess I just learned to accept it for what it was at the time. Hi, can I ask if you had problems with your heart? I've got extremely bad palpitations and extra beat plus shortness of breath related to that. I used to have the same thing. And because my granddad died of a heart attack in his 50s or 60s, I always assumed that whenever that struck, that it was something serious. But doctors said my heart was fine. Did you do any special events when you were recovering? If so, how did you manage it? What do you mean special events? So weird that I found your free advice to be just as helpful, if not more helpful, than stuff I pay for. I think you can speak for most people here. Like, you don't, most people that do these, they see someone say consultation, CFS specialist, £150. You think, wow, they're going to help me because they're charging that much. And you usually kind of end up feeling robbed a bit. How did you deal with Christmas with CFS? I didn't do Christmas. I'm not the best advice when it comes to social things because I'm not the most social person to start with. Start palpitation trend. James, advice got me into recovery over a year ago. Please follow his advice with consistency. Once everything clicks, the sleep, nutrition, mindset. Yeah, thanks, Janet. Yeah, I think a lot of people are very skeptical of me in the beginning, and I get messages like 6, 8 months down the line of people saying, "Okay, I've been doing it. It's starting to work," and I'm like, it may take another year, but it's working, so keep going. It's not very fashionable advice to tell people that it may take a year or two to recover. People want results now. Sorry, I'm yawning so much. I need tonight. I've been up since like 5 or something. My daughter's having her baby shower this week, and I've been housebound for a year and a half. I want to go, but nervous I will crash. I mean, I personally think that you can always recover after a crash. You crash is your body saying, "Look, I need more time. Stop doing this to me." But if you really want to go somewhere, I mean, you just have to make the call. It's your decision. You know, you say you crash, that means your body doesn't like it, but you want to go. So, for recovery wise, you wouldn't go, but sometimes you have to delay your recovery if you really want to do something, I guess. I don't know. I never did anything during recovery. You know, my advice isn't practical to most people that have busy sociable lives, but I can only give you advice from my experience. I love your advice so much. It makes so much sense. Thanks, Kathy. It's more important to be calm or positive. It's more important to be calm. Fuck that. Allow yourself to be pissed off, but don't dwell on it. That's my advice. Don't try and pretend that you're really happy. I tell people practice gratitude, see what you're happy for, like what in your life you're grateful for. You could be born in, I don't know, Nigeria or something, and have a shit life, or be taken at an early age, or your parents killed when you're like 10. Just practice gratitude, but I would say it's more important to be calm for your body. Just sit. If you're pissed off, if you're feeling angry, don't judge it. Just let it pass. But don't dwell on things. Don't get into a routine, a rut of just thinking bad, 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 bad. But don't just force yourself to be a positive person. You know, I couldn't force myself to be a positive person in the beginning because my body was so shit that my my mental health was dreadful as well. Do you enjoy socializing now? Have energy? Yeah and no. I like socializing with people that are like-minded. I don't like socializing with people that just ain't on the same wavelength with me. I just don't see the point. Like this, I enjoy this because all you guys have been through something that I've been through. It's relatable, and even though I'm not talking to you, I feel like I am. Like I enjoy this. I really do enjoy the live streams. That's why I've started preferring them a bit to my videos because I get to answer loads of questions instead of just one. I have friends with CFS who often get into a rut of talking about pains and how bad they are and how bad they feel. I came off Facebook groups and forums because of it, but I don't know how to nicely distance myself in real life. Yeah, I hated those forums when I was ill. It's like they loved talking about how ill they were going to be forever and how much pain they were in. It's like a competition almost, just a circle jerk of just misery. Fuck that. Focus on yourself, but nicely distance yourself in real life. Probably not the best person to talk to about that. I don't really have much experience in that, but you know that you need to distance yourself, so you have to try and find a way to do it. I found positivity induces happiness, but gratefulness and love induces calm. There you go. That's what I would recommend. Hi, I only found your channel recently. Do you think gluten sensitivity is curable, as in you rebuild your stomach bacteria to the point that you can digest gluten? I recently watched a TED talk on a guy talking about gluten, and he found that no one can actually digest gluten. Like, actually physically digest the molecule, can't be digested. I think that, as someone that's recovered 2.5 years ago or whatever, I I could eat gluten every week if I wanted to, and I would be kind of okay, but I don't feel great, you know. And I know that with time, on holiday, for example, it was very difficult to eat gluten-free vegan. I ended up eating gluten nearly every day. And with my personality, I was like, fuck it, I might as well have Coke every day. So I ate Coke, chip butties, stuff like that. And slowly but surely, I was getting joint pains and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it would take a very long time to be able to be okay with gluten and be just as healthy, but I don't know. You're asking that question because you miss gluten. I miss gluten still. I think it's just a luck, shit luck that I have to just be gluten free now. But I'd rather feel good than eat gluten. Any short term pleasure is not worth your long term health. Could you do a video on EFT, please? Would love to learn, and you explain things really well. I need to refresh myself, but I know the points and kind of briefly what you kind of talk through. I guess I could do that. Very cool that you're going with the Q&A suggestion. Do you think that Ron Stevenson or other scientists can find a cure about CFS? Sean Stevenson. Like Sean Stevenson. Do you think that Sean Stevenson other side can find a cure for CFS? I don't think there is a cure. I think that there's never one thing. There's never going to be something where somebody one day comes down with cancer and they just take a pill and get rid of it. I think it really always comes down to holistically treating things, sadly, and prevention is always the best cure. It's probably a very good thing that you're not a social person, wasn't it? It's just horrible for me to spend more than a few days at home because I love to be around other people and friends. If you love it and it gives you energy, then go ahead. You have to just judge yourself. Listen to your body. That's the main thing. But yeah, it was. I think it was more of a learned thing though, not being a social person. Being so ill for so long, I kind of just got used to it. Plus, we've changed wheat so much from our ancestors, so where it's unrecognized, that's probably why. It's probably why we can't digest it. Turns out rice has arsenic, so what do we eat now? No gluten, no rice. I wouldn't worry personally, Margarita. I'd still eat rice now and again. But my main staples in terms of like grains and stuff is oats. Yeah, oats, starches, stuff like that. Brad Yates has a shit ton of EFT videos. There's gonna be guys out there on YouTube that explain EFT better than me. Like, did you notice changes in how bad your symptoms were when the weather changed? For example, I usually feel worse when it's very hot. Also, I live in California when it's only 70 degrees always. I No, I can't relate. England is it's not any extremes. It's just kind of a middle ground, like rainy and some sun. That's it. So no, I can't relate. When you drank water giver, did you mix it with juice or coconut water? When the finished like liquid, I'd drain off. I'd add like bits of fruit in there, or like sliced ginger, and then ferment outside in like a bottle. So it'd be like ginger beer kind of. What is arsenic symptoms? Uh, Basically, nutritionfacts.org has recently done loads of videos on arsenic consumption and how it can affect us. The symptoms, I'm guessing, are not very good. I think Ron is a scientist whose son had severe type of it. Ron Davis. Ron Davis. I've never heard of him. In a previous video, you mentioned Kiva helps your bloating. Is that right? Could you please show us how you made it, please? And how you built up to drinking a liter a day. Right, okay. I need to do that Kiva video. I'm sorry. I was away for a week, so I haven't been able to do it. I have my Kefir brewing downstairs. Actually, I'll have to. Okay, next time I'm doing a ferment, um, uh, I will make a video. Whatever drug Ron or other researchers come up with CFS, it will have side effects. Probably a new inflammatory immunomodulator. Heal naturally. Yeah, I believe it's always going to come down to the same thing: healing naturally, the hard way. That's why people want a cure, is because it's fucking difficult to cure. It can take years. I think if I knew everything I knew now, I could have recovered within the year. Oh no, I wouldn't expect water kefir to cure you of anything. It's just another thing you add into your routine. Yeah, you have to change everything. Exactly. Because I remember I used to make videos, like I made one that was like 15 different things to change in your life to feel better, and people would just watch the whole video and go, I'll pick that one, and just pick one thing. They just didn't understand what I was trying to say. I was trying to say, incorporate everything that you think will be beneficial to you into your life and be patient. And it's hard work, and people just kind of want to avoid hard work until they really hit rock bottom, then they're willing to do everything like I was. Big thanks for answering my question. Have a great day. Thanks, Mash and Boo. I'm curious. I'm wondering what time I should Skype for the most viewers, because I know a lot of my viewers are actually from America. So maybe it is better later on. It's nearly 7 o'clock now. Usually, what's your decision to cut gluten based on experience or someone else's advice? Both. Mainly someone else's advice, because when I was recovering, well, when I was trying to recover, every testimonial that I ever listened to cut out gluten. I didn't see one person that said, I recovered eating pizza, I recovered eating bread. I never saw anyone that keeps eating gluten. Okay, well, there's a TED talk on gluten you might want to watch. That there's a doctor that talks about every ill child he's ever worked with and how they couldn't digest gluten and the effect it was having on their bodies. Now, if you're chronically ill now, it will be very difficult to find out if gluten makes you feel worse or not. It will take a good 6 months to fully know if it will make you feel worse or not. May be wrong, but me, CFS seems more common in England. Any opinion of that or idea why? I think it's because we eat so much shit. That's why. I know it's off topic, but just wondering, does coincidence, synchronicity happen to you often? Uh, Sometimes. That's where you see things repeatedly in it of the same, like, so, like, even if it's numbers and stuff, right? You see the same kind of thing more than once. That's synchronicity, isn't it? What is your opinion to NLP and stuff like the Gupta program? Can't comment, don't know about it. I always tell people, go ahead, try everything you can, be open minded, but don't expect too much from one thing. That's what I always say. Many people go to these like NLP, I'm guessing it's like lightning process kind of stuff, like EFT. People do these things and expect a recovery. When I did EFT and stuff, I didn't recover. It's just beneficial. It helped one aspect of my recovery. Did you cut out all sugar too? Not refined, not fruit. Uh, I did pretty much. Like now and again, I would eat. Okay, so in the beginning, I would eat things like suma beans, and I had no idea at the time. I know it sounds stupid, but I never checked for sugar because I didn't think that something that was savory would have sugar in. Like that, I never understood that. But no, I didn't fully cut out sugars. Not just numbers, but for example, do you think about the person and he or she gets in contact same day, or do you feel something is going on and going to happen and it happens? Yeah, sometimes. Like for example, I gave uh my girlfriend's mum a bottle of kefir that I brewed, and I kept saying, you know, well, I didn't give it to her. I left her at the house, and I said, we got to tell your mum about the kefir because I feel like it's gonna blow up. She has to be careful. And I kept joking, like she'll end up in hospital. It's gonna like blow up and hit the ceiling. It's gonna smash. It's gonna cause damage. And that week, like 4 days later, her car set on fire and like damaged her hands where she had a bandage up, like stuff like that. If that counts. But no, I know what you mean. I'd like to ask if you tried D-ribose, and if so, did you take the amount recommended? Yeah, I did it. I wouldn't recommend it. It can be really expensive, that stuff as well. Do you think do you think bad teeth, overall oral hygiene like broken teeth, led? No, I can't really comment on that. But I guess if any part of you is deteriorating, there's obviously something there that needs to be changed. When you cut out oats for a while, what kind of stuff did you eat for breakfast? It was like it was like a porridge replacement that was absolutely disgusting, but it was organic and healthy, so I ate it anyway. It was like buckwheat flakes and rice flakes and chia seeds or something like that, and it made a porridge consistency. And it used to fill me up, so I just used to eat it. I just used to put bananas and dates in there and nuts and seeds or almond butter and stuff like that. Got to help me the most, but I never fully implemented the mindfulness and good diet. He has similar ideas too. He also had it himself and recovered. I need to sort myself out, really get on track. Yeah, you do. The only person that's going to get you there is yourself, and that is it. That is it. Do you want to look back in 5 years' time and go, wow, if only I'd changed my routine now, I could have been cured and on my way to doing what I want to do in life? I don't know, you know? Please make a video about eating routine. I cannot film foods to eat. I will try and do this. I will make the time to do this at some point. Bit off topic, but have you ever given your dog kefir for his or her health? Can we see your dog in videos one day? Yeah? Uh, yeah, I've never fed him kefir. He's very fussy. Can you make porridge from quinoa, supposedly? Yeah, he could do that. He could do that. I tried polenta as well as a replacement. Organic polenta. That worked okay. Veggies give me gas and cramps. I eat plantains, sweet potatoes, spaghetti, squash, and lean meats like free-range turkey and chicken. Maybe just cook veggies even more. Maybe. If you haven't already, if you have a history of antibiotic use and you haven't tried probiotics, maybe that's something you want to look at. I know that I digested things a lot easier after kefir or with kefir. I used to have kefir before my meals. Have you ever had Have you heard of the Know the Cause by Doug Kaufman? He claims that mold and yeast overgrowth are the cause of these mysterious illnesses. In the end, I just didn't worry about what the cause was. I just focused on doing everything I could that would help me heal. I finally caught you live. Yeah, you've been a big help in my recovery. Awesome, Jasmine. What do you think about CBD oil for anxiety due to autoimmune disease? I have no idea, but I've heard good things about CBD oil. It's expensive, but I don't think it would hurt. I think that you have to change everything in your life um, to get over the autoimmune disease. I love you straight talking. This is what I come here for. Like when I was recovering, the amount of bullshit out there is unbelievable. So might as well make a change. Did you ever notice visual symptoms with your adrenal fatigue? I suffer from adrenal fatigue and have visual snow, which has been said to be from AF. Only you can know when you've recovered and it's either gone away or still there, then you'll know. But yeah, I've had visual problems, and I still do kind of have visual problems now and again, but I think that's more from my technology uses. This thing. This thing has destroyed my eyes in the last 6 months. I swear I need to get rid of it. Did you try ashwagandha? Yep. Holy basil, no. Or other adaptogen stuff for adrenal fatigue. Ashwagandha I did. I ended up just realizing that I probably didn't need a herb from the other side of the world to recover. It may help, but I didn't need it. So I stopped wasting my money on it. What kefir are you talking about? I've had a vegan coconut one a couple of days ago. Hope you're still vegan. I'm still vegan. I think I've been vegan for 3 years now. Thoughts on drinking green tea? I personally didn't bother. I didn't want anything with caffeine in. I was incredibly sensitive to things with caffeine in. I think I still am, but I know the last time I had a coffee for a workout, I just felt like just really angry, and I could not tolerate caffeine. But last time I had coffee was like a year and a half ago, 2 years. Do you still go to a chiropractor now? No, expensive. But I do want to go and see one now because I had like a car crash in March. My shoulder's been iffy ever since, so I do want to go and get it sorted. Hey man, thanks for doing all your videos and these Q&As. I really appreciate all of it. Don't know where I would be without your help. Makes me happy to hear that. Knowing that I could hinder the profits of people trying to make money from people like you. That's good. I like that. I like that a lot. Curious to know, has your iris eye color changed at all since you recovered? No. Some people say that when they change their diet and stuff, their eyes change, but no, mine didn't. Maybe the whites of my eyes got more white, more than likely, yeah. Do you eat any gluten to this day? No, I have to stay away from it. The first symptom I get now from gluten is poor joints, especially my knees and shoulders. And really, I would say it's my knees, my shoulders, and my wrists. And I've tried gluten so many times, and it's always the same fucking thing: sore joints. So I just can't do it, and that's even after a few days. Do you only drink water then, or fruit teas? No, I don't drink any fruit teas, but I do drink. I started drinking kefir again. I I've just had one of these. Let's see if you can see this. It's a coconut water with natural mango. It's got no sugar in it. It's just got stevia as a sweetener. What else do I drink? There's also this other blueberry drink that I like that's not got sugar in. I try and avoid sugar as much as possible. You're one of the only normal people out there is in natural health and healing field. So many bullshit artists and crazy people out there. Yeah, I was thinking about doing uh like videos on certain people. Like there's this one girl I know that has like she had a health channel, but she hadn't recovered yet, and she would go up and down, up and down. And the last video I saw about her, she looked like she had died, and she's still doing a health channel, still telling her what she's doing for her routine to recover and stuff. Like, I'd hate to think that people follow her advice. Like, some of the things she's doing is crazy. Do you still think you feel completely healed one day, like before CFS? Yeah. You know, I knew I had fully healed when I did my 160-mile bike ride or whatever it was, 150, whatever it was. And I felt less tired after that 150-mile bike ride than I did when I had chronic like fibromyalgia and everything. Do you still? My eyes are freaking bloodshot a lot now. Yeah, it's time to have rest. I need an early night tonight. I can't thank you enough for offering the advice, helping me. I do believe I will recover. Did you ever do a saliva cortisol test? Is to confirm that? No, because my doctor wouldn't give me one. So I was just like, I have to fucking do this myself. I'm not begging for a test. And I heard so many things like, you know, how it can change from day to day, time to time. And I knew that my body was deteriorating. That's all I knew. So I just focused on what I could do to recover. Can you briefly talk about how you ate before you changed your diet? Oh, I've never had this question before, but uh, before I recovered, it was very animal products, a lot of animal products. I loved my. I for a while I was what I would consider what I thought was like a healthy vegetarian. I would eat raw butter, raw milk, raw like Greek yogurts, just normal Greek yogurts, not raw. Um, Loads of eggs, olive oil, lots of fat. Uh, Vegetables still. I ate vegetables, casseroles and stuff. I had beans. It was a vegetarian diet. I went through phases of eating. I had a 1 2 week period where I ate meat just as an experiment, but generally it was vegetarian. A lot of animal products, a lot of dairy, uh, raw dairy from organic farms, but it didn't make a difference. But yeah, I ate a lot of omelets cooked in full fat butter and cheese and stuff like that. I have sore throat a couple of times during the day, and it's gone after 20 minutes. A bad feeling happens to you. I can't remember, mate. I didn't actually have sore throats. I had it. I had a really bad sore throat, reoccurring with glandular fever and tonsillitis this December. I know you have dealt with acne in the past. Do you know which foods were causing it? Dairy, gluten, and oil. Sugar. Dairy, gluten, oil, sugar. Do you ever worry CFs come back? No, not at this point. After I had glandular fever and it was like I thought I was relapsing. And when I didn't relapse and I recovered after 3 or 4 months, I'm not worried. I know that I'll if it ever happened again for whatever reason, that I'd recover again. What are your hobbies now? You are well. When you were ill, did you often visualize how you would be or what you would do when you were recovered? Visualized every day. I visualized that I was going to run up to the park and do pull ups. That was my visualization every day. Hobbies, I do want to get into like kickboxing. Um, because of my car crash in March, I've not been that active in terms of weights or calisthenics and stuff like that. I need to get my rotator cuff sorted out, but I still run. I like to run. For anyone wondering why all these mysterious illnesses exist, my opinion and lots of other people think it's because of the modern food developments. Like, yeah, I think food has a big part of it. Also, stress. Also, England as well. Um, yeah, we don't get much sun in England. Is another thing. Um, uh, just loads of things. Like loads. There's so many causes, but food's a big one. Poor sleep. Just so many reasons. I know that a big part of when I crashed, there was loads of things. Antibiotics for acne. I didn't have an infection. Uh, my immune system was just so low. I had colds every week, and I never ever didn't have an ulcer. And I had a BCG jab, and oh my god, I felt so ill after that. I think it's because my immune system was so low I couldn't cope with it. I had a tick bite. Just so many things that could cause it. Do you use any medicines like benzodiazepines, I would say stay the fuck away from those. The people I've talked to that have done benzos and going through withdrawal, it sounds like hell, and it makes everything so much worse. No, luckily I didn't do that. The only thing I did was insomnia drugs in the beginning, but I weaned. I got off them. I did Zopiclone. How can overcome the feeling that I will never recover? I have so much doubt in my mind. Sometimes it's hard to stay positive. Did you have a lot of doubt during recovery one second? Yeah, of course you do. You're gonna have doubt. You've been ill for a long time. Well, I was anyway. Um, I think you just have to focus on day to day. Focus on what you do have, gratitude for things you do have, where you could be in the world, where you'd be wishing for your life you have now, uh, and realizing that just visualize yourself doing the exercise you want to do a year from now, and realizing that it's going to be worth it when you get there. Because just don't let it change how much effort you put into recovery. Any thoughts on about SIBO? That's the small intestine bacteria overgrowth, right? Parasites. I vegan for 3 years. I drink from being every day, take enzyme. What? How do you know there's something wrong with your gut still, Kivik? Like what happens? You have to tell me the symptoms. I'd love to grow fruit and veg. When I recover, I want to grow fruit and veg again. I'll send you a box out for all your help and advice. I'd love that. I was actually when I went for a run this morning with my dog, and I was just in the absolute torrential rain, but picking the berries, the blackberries. I swear, just getting it fresh from the tree, it's obviously going to be a lot better for you, isn't it? I would think anyway. Did you ever have severe anxiety or feel that you were dying? If so, how did you deal with these moments? Feel like I felt like my body was just deteriorating to the point where I'd just be housebound for the rest of my life. Severe anxiety, I had a lot of social anxiety. I'd be worried if someone rang the doorbell. I was that bad. Uh, you're amazing. Thank you for Kivik. I'm sorry to ask again. Never meet people with my sort of heart issues. Did you ever have problems with stairs climbing, lifting heavy things? I couldn't lift heavy things. Even a few kilograms above my head would cause me to kind of blank out and get heart palpitations and short breath. Yeah, I had all those things though. Which vegan vitamin D did you take? I live in England too, and winter. I would like to try vitamin D to see if that helps. I can't. I actually didn't take a vitamin D because I had no idea it wasn't vegan. I just took the D-free supplement that you can get on Amazon. 5,000 UIs a day. That's what I took every day during winter. Don't you sometimes think that your recovery was almost miraculous? I had a consultation with a CFS ME expert. The statistics of people recovering after 2 years are abysmal, even when people live very healthy consistently. Um, I wouldn't say it was miraculous. I felt like I deserved it after all the hard work I put in and how long I've been ill. But I guess in a sense, yeah, I should be very grateful that I have recovered and I'm not still in it. I have very high benzo tolerance right now. I use them to put myself to sleep. Oh, no idea if I'm doing any withdrawal. I use it every other day. Uh, I don't talk to me about this. I don't know anything about it. All I know is it can be quite difficult to wean off. Sorry if you already mentioned this, but do you take any supplements, tablets, vitamins, minerals, or are they all a scam? I've spent quite a bit on them, including vitamin D. I'm always skeptical. At the moment, I have like a zinc that's £5. I take like now and again. Like if I feel like an ulcer's starting to come, I'll have take a zinc and it'll be gone next day. I have a B12, but I've not taken it for a few months, and I take vitamin D during the winter. But to be honest, the summer's been so shit in England. I just still be taking it. Might go and take one now. I get spooked even when the postman calls. Yeah, I used to get adrenaline from the postman. Just hearing anything put me on edge. You'll have it one day, trust me, because I was the exact same. I didn't leave my house for years. My anxiety was so bad. Now I don't have any social anxiety really. If I'm going to meet some new people and I might feel a tiny bit of anxiety, but I've gone from someone that never left the house from just anxiety through the roof to no, it's fine now. I'm going to. Have you met other people who have recovered from CFS in real life? Uh, I've met people that have recovered from things, but not. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same as me. Actually, I'm lying. Like when I went to the Optimal Health Clinic, they're the same. I stopped gluten years ago and no red meat. 75%. Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of people say the same. My pain was a lot better after I went gluten free. Did you ever have high blood pressure? I had. Okay, so what's the first number that goes first? Mine was 160. Mine was like a 55-year-old alcoholic that only ate bacon and eggs. That was my blood pressure was through the roof. It was in the red zone, and the doctor. I remember at the time was like, "This doesn't make any sense. How the hell is your blood pressure so high?" Yeah, I might leave it there actually. Do you think eggs are bad to eat? I personally used to love eggs and have like 30 odd eggs a week, maybe more, sometimes more. Do I think they're bad to eat? I think if I was gonna eat either eggs, milk, or meat, I'll probably eat the eggs, but still, I wouldn't eat eggs now. When did you get your blood pressure checked? Salt can increase blood pressure. This was before I had started my recovery, and I probably was eating a lot of salt. Did you suffer from milia? Yeah. Yeah, no, I did have milia. One of my first videos is actually a milia video where I randomly lost like 6 milia that I had. I don't have a single milia now. I think that it was something to do with diet, and how I got rid of them was apple cider vinegar clay masks. And I remember getting out of the bath one time and I looked in the mirror. I was like, "What? I actually have no milia left. I used to have them around my eyes." In my insulting opinion, doctors are just affiliate marketers for pharma companies. That's a sad reality. It's weird mine is high because feel dizzy when I stand, which would indicate low, but it shows up high. Oh, it's a nightmare. Like you can drive yourself crazy trying to find the root cause of stuff. That's why I just ended not bothering. He's a functional practitioner who has completely cured 1/3 of his patients. Maybe he won't be able to help me, but I do think his advice has value. Has seen over 18,000 patients. No, that's good. What's his advice? Yeah, I did have that. I have a video on depersonalization. It does make you go crazy. You don't even feel like you're alive. You feel like you're watching through somebody else's eyes. It's horrible. What's your opinion on Dr. Morse and his herbal detox protocol? I used to find comfort in Dr. Robert Morse. He gave me hope that I would recover. I personally didn't purchase any of his herbal detox protocols, so I can't comment. Do you need them to recover? No, I don't think so. But if you have something like cancer, maybe you need every help you can get, so I won't comment when it comes to that. I can't digest anything, constipated all the time, bloated, intolerances, get acne and itches all over my face from almost everything I eat. I believe this is a huge part of me not recovering. Yeah, that is a huge part of you not recovering. To me, it sounds like you're actually allergic to something you're eating. Hmm. I will say this is that for a time I was on the soil-based probiotics. I don't know if you know them. Apparently, they're good for SIBO. The best facial moisturizer, hands down, that I've ever had is uh, cold pressed argan oil. That's the best moisturizer for my face. If you look in my recent videos compared to my old ones, you'll see that my skin looks a lot more healthier. And I believe that's because I use argan oil on my skin whenever it feels a bit dry. I tend to be so confused because everybody keeps saying it's best to eat low carb, just grass fed meat and veggies with adrenal fatigue and CFS, but I personally would say so much meat can't be healthy. I agree. There's a lot of people that say low carb's very bad for adrenal fatigue because uh, like, God's sake, like Doctor Wilson. He's quite well known. Type him on YouTube. He's very well known for recovering people from adrenal fatigue. He doesn't recommend low carb. He recommends a balance of carbs, fats, and protein, and that's what I would recommend too, because it makes sense. Is that better than coconut oil? Yeah, I found it better to be better than coconut oil. I love coconut oil, but argan oil seems best for my skin. Maybe different for you. How long has this stream been going? Oh, early night for me. Are you going to do any more live chats with people like you, like the one you did with Stefan? Yes. I've actually asked a couple of people. I'm waiting for them to get back to me. And if anyone knows of anyone or who wants to or who you do, type it on the comment section of the video once it's uploaded. Did you ever have issues getting enough calories in such healthy foods? No, because I ate like every 2 or 3 hours. It made me feel more grounded, and I just it helped me wean off gluten. It made me feel satiated. It made me feel like more calm. So no, I didn't. But if you do, I would try almond butter and stuff like that. It's very calorie dense. You can always add a bit of coconut oil into something if you want as well. It's calorie dense. Do you apply argan oil damp or dry? Both. Sometimes I bath and I have a bit of damp skin. I just put it on anyway. I'd probably say that try the best. Thoughts on recovery groups? Many seem to be negative. Hated them all. Like a lot of them would hate my channel. Like anything that's positive or uh, anything that's saying that you can recover, it's like they hate it. It's like they want to stay ill. It's weird. I hated it. I've read a few negative things about Waterkeeper. Is it definitely worth doing? Only you can know. I felt it was very helpful for me. What do you think about CFS charities? Some are similar to recovery groups. Yeah, I know that on the websites they say you have to understand that what you have, there is no cure, and you're going to be ill for a very long time. I'm so sorry, but you're going to have to get used to it. Who the fuck wants to read that? What is the point of reading that? I hate them. I hate CFS charities as well, because they're like, it's like, cancer charities where they get millions and millions and millions and millions for cancer charities, and they go, there's a cure just around the corner. There's a cure just around the corner. There never is. You said you used to listen to a lot of audiobooks. What are your favorites? Oh, I used to love listening to Christopher Hitchens. I went through like an atheistic stage. I I especially like them because he actually spoke his books himself, so I really like that. I weirdly at the same time I was listening to uh, it it was a dramatic audiobook, so they had actors for each person in the book and sound effects, and there was clashing of swords and stuff for fight scenes, and it was the Bible, like the Old Testament. And because it was entertaining because of how well it was made, I actually was listening to that. It also made me hate religion the more I read it because it was just I found it insane. But I did find it entertaining. I also loved a few Shakespeare ones that were dramatic that had different actors for each one. Um, oh, what was it called? It was M. Oh shit, what's it called? Macbeth. I liked Macbeth. One of them. I Andrew Marr did an audiobook, Brief History of the World. I liked that one. Um, it was like 30 hours and it went through where we can recall back to the present day, and it just went through everything that was briefly that was quite interesting. I don't know. I'd have to check my audiobooks, see what. You know what? I'll check it now. Let me answer a few questions. What do you think there is little known things about Adrenal? What do you? Who did you? Why do you think there is little known things about? Uh, I don't know. Do you always have a good and restful sleep as long as I go to bed early and no technology before bed? Do you still suffer from insomnia sometimes? Never. Never had insomnia since I recovered. I think you also need to have this switch in mindset like, okay, that's enough. It stills. I still perhaps people say there is no cure to encourage government funding. I personally have made it my mission to watch recovery stories on YouTube and watch other. The number one best thing you can do is look at people who've come through ill health and what they did and take things advice from them. It's the best thing you can spend your time looking at. Best thing you can look at with your time. You know. Let me have a look. Amazon Audio. I've cancelled it a while ago. Audible on it. How long into recovery were you like, okay, I'm getting better? I tend to get so anxious and unsure about getting better. If you listen to the comments in this video, a lot of people say the same thing. I will say that the first time I felt better was when I had my first relapse, which was 3 months into my new recovery program that I was doing. And I realized I had been making progress because it's very hard to find if you're doing progress when you're in your body every day. You feel yourself every day, so it's hard to notice the little changes. Do you think listening to music is okay or leaves people too wired? I stopped listening to like metal and stuff like that and more relaxing music. But obviously go off how you feel. Kronos, thanks for clarification without missing effort in recovery in the right way, especially after 2 years. And yeah, I totally agree. The stats would be bad. Kronos, what are your symptoms? you have energy in the morning? Yes. You don't seem to like sugar, so do you limit your fruit consumption? No, I eat loads of fruit. All right, okay. Let me quickly. Right, audiobooks. I had Lord of the Rings. To be honest, because I seen all the movies, I didn't finish them. Uh, oh, Hamlet. It wasn't Macbeth. It was Hamlet audiobook I liked. I went because when I was recovering, I thought that I'd be like a doctor or something. So I was listening to courses for medical school. Like I was listening to medical school booklets and stuff. Uh, but they weren't my favorite. Oh, I love Silence of the Lambs by Tom Harris audiobook. That was good. I watched the movie as well. I still love the audiobook. Do you find taking magnesium helps with? I used to have magnesium in the bath. Could be Sylvia, because Kefir does have quite a lot of B vitamins, if I remember correctly. You know what you will find is that as you have more nutrient dense things, you don't feel like you need loads of food to feel satiated. What kinds of hobbies or interests do you do for fun now that you've recovered? I love calisthenics. Sadly, because of the my rotor cuff injury, I can't do that right now. I love running. I'm gonna start doing like kickboxing. Uh, I'm gonna be going with my dad and brother to MB World to do race a supercar. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, what other hobbies do I like? I hate anything to do with computers generally, which is a change from how I used to be. But no, I'm still looking for hobbies that catch my attention. I'm considering applying for the police once I finish college. How to start exercise again? I'm at the point now where I can work 8 hours a day, but then I'm too exhausted to get physical active in the evening. Don't then. Rest, Leo. That's your body telling you to rest. How do you find confidence to start YouTube? I want to document my recovery, but the camera terrifies me and I get awkward even if no one watch it. Watch my first video. I was awkward as hell. And how do you get the confidence? You just start. You just do it. That's it. There's no secret to it. You just start. I started taking CBD oil and found it helps with pain and anxiety. What are your thoughts on it? I've heard a lot of good things about it. Never took it myself. Can't say much at all. Any symptoms? Extreme fatigue, extreme sensitivity, nervous to light sound. Sounds like you're like at square one, and you're saying that you've made loads of good changes. Like, have you tried counting your calories? Do you go to bed early? Do you still look at screens before bed? Have you changed all of that? Have you done probiotics? Like Star Wars audiobooks have great sound effect. Oh, I'll keep that in mind. Actually, I like Star Wars. I find the positive mindset the most difficult thing. Every time I stick to that and get a really bad day, I somehow. If once this video is uploaded, watch it, and I do talk about. You don't need to be positive all the time. Stay calm. Expect downfalls. You know, it's not all up with recovery. It's linear. You can go up and down, up and down. I suspect my immune system is being suppressed and confused by an infection or several, and therefore other things keep going out of balance. I suspect Lyme, some viruses like. Do you still play guitar? Yeah, I still play guitar. Not often though. Cupping. I never did that. James, I think that we are just fucked up genetically. I don't think so. I think that we've just had a bit of bad luck. Kronos, remind me again. Were you the person that said that you had all your vaccines were like you never had breastfed, you had antibiotics as a kid, and all those things? Was that you? I can't remember. Do you think there's a huge difference between what to do for adrenal thing? No. I think people with CFS have adrenal problems. What is CFS anyway? It's just a label for feeling really fatigued. Adrenal fatigue's actually to do with your actual adrenals. Yeah, I learned to drive after I'd recovered. I passed my test this year. I personally wouldn't do it while you're feeling that way. I wouldn't learn to drive when I was ill. Put it that way. Mate, I've changed all of that. I have almost no joint and muscle pain anymore. I can concentrate and think much clearer. Can eat much more. So definitely made strides forward. Okay, that's good. That's confusing, mate. I guess you're just gonna have to keep looking for the extra thing that's gonna help. I'm not gonna take my channel down. I'm not as active, but I still keep it up. If you want to do blood cupping, you'll feel like a normal person for 12 hours, then symptoms will come back. Really good advice here. Would love to do a one-on-one chat for YouTube live sometime with tailored advice. When I upload this video, Josh, leave a comment with your Skype name. I'm quite shitty at getting back to people on time because, like, sometimes I go away to my girlfriend's for a week at a time, so I don't get back to people's. But I will try. How do you do no screens, electronics before bed? Do you watch ceiling in your bed or something? No, just not screens. I read a book or an audiobook or it's usually read a book now. I don't bother with audiobooks as much anymore. Which supplements do you recommend for a vegan diet? B12 and D. That's about right. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Congrats on passing the test. You give me hope. Do you drive manual or auto? I look forward. I passed in a manual, but I have an automatic. But the automatic car that I have has a sports mode where you can drive manual as well. So thanks for so much for your help. No problem, Sarah. That's what it's here for. Have you ever used a product called Miswak? Never heard of it. What is it? It's a toothbrush? Nope, never seen that. I passed before I got ill when I was 18. Hello, bro. Do you have any experience with candida? Candida symptoms, yeah. I never got a test saying I had candida, though. Kronos, I don't want to scare you, but did you get a Lyme test? I have same symptoms and positive Lyme, whatever Lyme is eventually. I really wanted to get a test for Lyme when I was ill because I got bit by a tick. but it's so expensive. And in England, yeah, they won't test you for Lyme, from what I heard. And if you get tested by, for example, there's a lab called Infecto Labs that I was going to get a test from. I was talking to them. Even if I got a positive test and took it to my GP in England, they will not take it seriously because it comes from outside the country. It's just absolute frustration. You know, if you want. Arnold's Way had some encouraging Lyme disease diagnosed patient recovery stories. There you go. That helped me. That made me chill out about maybe having Lyme. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that. A Wizak. I'll have to have a look into that. The toothbrush I have at the moment's a bamboo one. How often do you become sick now? So I got glandular fever and tonsillitis in December, and I didn't want to take antibiotics, so I fought the infection of tonsillitis on my own, and that took a good 4 months to recover from without antibiotics. I didn't want to take antibiotics. Um, so I had that, glandular fever, tonsillitis, recovered after 4 months, and then I had a car crash in March. Trying to think what else I got ill with. I think there was one other thing. But when I first recovered, I went a year or so without feeling ill. And I think when I got glandular fever, I was really slacking because I started going to bed later, started slacking on my diet and stuff, and then I got more exposed to other things. So when I was keeping up to date with my routine and everything, I never got ill. But no, I wouldn't say I get ill very often. Also, experience of, but then again, I guess what I will say is this: is that because I was inside for such a long time, my immune system wasn't really getting tested from outside sources. So when for example, I got a girlfriend and I got glandular fever and tonsillitis and cold sore from her because I never uh, been interacting with people for a very long time. So I think my immune system's getting a good testing right now with the outside world catching up on like things like that. James, did you have skull pressure symptoms? Yes. Used to piss me off. Used to feel like my head was going to explode. Also, experiences with brain fog. How did you get rid of it? It's just about dealing with addressing all your problems. Uh, it's about addressing all your lifestyle habits. Not You can't just get rid of brain fog on its own. Do you have hair dye that would hinder? Do you think? I don't think the chemicals would help at all. Lyme treatment isn't effective in the mainstream. People are on antibiotics for years and never happens. One of the guy on the channel, Arnold's Way, he was diagnosed with Lyme and given IV antibiotics, and he was bedbound. He didn't recover. He recovered changing his lifestyle and doing it holistically, though. Any thoughts on tap fees filtered water? I would always recommend filtered water. Tap water is full of shit, especially where I live. Do you get bullseye rash when you were bitten? I've had multiple tick bites, even with rash bruises, but was refused the Lyme test still. No, I never got the bullseye rash. What are your thoughts on veganism? Do you think vegetarianism is possible with additional supplements? I am vegan myself. I Most of the people that I watched that had recovered at the time were vegan. It gave me hope. Do you think fruitarianism is possible with addition? Yeah, I guess. I personally wouldn't want to live that way, especially in the cold climate. But there are people that have recovered from cancer and stuff doing that, so it must be working for some people. How did you manage eating healthy when you were still really sick? I find it so hard to prepare my meals when I'm feeling bad. Uh, I I used to just fill up the steamer with vegetables and sweet potatoes and stuff like that, and then just have beans with it and stuff like that, and made easy meals. I'll have to make a video on stuff like that later. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop answering questions in a sec. Sorry if this is too personal, but did you suffer from complex PTSD? Yeah, I had PTSD. I did have PTSD. And I'm still kind of I'm still like working on PTSD. I've come a long way with it, though, I will say that. I can't comment on treating Lyme into carrots, too much to consider, but people definitely get better, yeah. Yeah, they do. James, it's weird that your GP never tested you. My GP did, and it was positive. Be glad, though, because once you think in Lyme, it's kind of hard to let go. Yeah, I think maybe if I knew that it was wriggling in my body, that I would be thinking about it more, and it may have made me worse. I don't know. It's fucking bullshit, isn't it? All of it. I think there are a lot of people getting sick constantly with severe, but others don't. Probably because their immune system is overactive. No idea. I think that some people that just eat shit, have an awful lifestyle, and just drop dead with a heart attack or cancer and stuff. I don't know. I think the symptoms we experience are our body's way of making us slow down and examine our life, so we don't get something more serious. That's going to cost us our life. Any videos coming up on Candida overgrowth? No, I haven't planned any on Candida overgrowth. But I think I have a video already on Candida. Oh, I'm gonna get into bed soon. Might have a bath first, actually. Anyway, guys. Hey, guys.